TinkerCAD tip. I recently had a follower ask about importing STLs in order to modify them or change them in TinkerCAD. And I wanted to kind of take this opportunity to talk about what TinkerCAD will support and what it won't. Now, TinkerCAD does have some limitations, and the one limitation that they call out is that it will only support up to 300,000 triangles. So you see here on the screen, I have a very simple object. This is a mounting plate for an Arduino Nano expansion board, and this is an octopus. Two very different things. This is all made up of shapes that are pretty straight and flat, whereas this object, this octopus, is made up of a lot of odd shapes and little spheres. So let me show you what I have here. Here's a folder I have on my PC with those objects. Here's that Arduino Nano expansion board mount. And you'll note here it's only 993K. And then here is the octopus. And if you look here, it has a lot of these little tiny spheres all over it. And as we all know, spheres take up a lot of triangles in order to make their shape. Also, the size of this is very large. So if we go back to TinkerCAD here, let's go ahead and move these off. Let's do import, choose a file. Let's bring in that adapter. Click import. This should come in fairly quickly. And bingo, it came right in. It's pretty simplified. There's not much to it, so that was quite easy. However, if we try to import that octopus, which is much larger, it should tell us right here, TinkerCAD limits import files to 25 meg. So that's going to be way too large in its current format. So what I wanted to show you is a little trick I learned to use using 3D Builder. Now here's 3D Builder. You can download this and install it on your PC or laptop. And here on the screen, I've imported that octopus, the one with a lot of detail to it. And if we come over here to edit, we click on that octopus, we can come over here to simplify, and it'll give us the number of faces that are in here. Right now, it's currently over 3 million faces. So what we can do is try to reduce that so that it's just under 300,000. So I'm going to bring this over here to number 4. There we go. It says it's working on it. We'll give that a chance to work, and this may take some time depending upon how complicated or complex the 3D model is. Once it's done rendering that, you can see now that the number of triangles, and we can zoom in here, you can see all of the individual triangles. We see now that our faces count, or triangles count, is at 258,000. So if I were to save this, we should be able to import that back into TinkerCAD. Let's go ahead and click on Reduce Faces. Then we're going to click on Save As. We're going to first change this to an STL format. We're going to call it Octopus V3. We'll go ahead and replace that one. It gives us a little warning. We'll click Continue. Now that it's done saving, we can come back over here. Here's our new version of that octopus. You can see here where it's much smaller now. We'll jump back into TinkerCAD. We'll click on Choose a File again. This time we'll choose the V3 version of it. Click Open. No warning, so it's within the size limitation. And we'll click on Import and give that a moment to bring it in. Once it's done importing, it'll look something like this. Let's go ahead and click on this. We'll Shift Rotate to bring it around 180 degrees here. Let's go ahead and change the color to yellow. I like using yellow because it makes it easy to see. We can zoom in here. Now, once we have these in TinkerCAD, we can modify these just like we would any other project in TinkerCAD. For instance, this here, we could bring out a whole cylinder here, change the number of sides. We could modify the size of this hole, so we could come in here and let's say we needed to add another hole to this mount. Reduce the size. There we go. We could take those two, group those together to put an extra hole in that mount, just like that. Or even say, for instance, on this octopus, let's go ahead and scale this up a bit. I'm going to click on it, holding down the Shift key. I'm going to grab a corner here to scale it equally along all the axes. And let's say we wanted to turn this into a little bit of a pencil cup. Let's take our cone over here. And let's shave off a little bit of the top of this cone. Let's bring it up. Move that over here. Let's group those two together. Let's bring that up a bit. Let's turn that into a hole. We'll flip it upside down. There we go. Let's bring it over here. Bring it up a bit. Let's say we wanted to turn his head into a pencil cup. Grab that arrow. Bring it down in there. We'll group those two together. Click on Group. We'll give it a moment to render. And when it's done rendering, it'll look like that. Has a little bit of a hole in the top. But there you have it, TinkerCAD tip, how to import STLs and make your own modifications to other people's designs.